Hi again! I am wearing the same clothes as in my other video because I just am filming this video right after the other one, so I do apologize. And I do have the same makeup on. Anyway, I wanted to show you guys my Liparis plant. I think I'm saying that right, but I'm not really sure. I am never the best person to pronounce names, but I purchased this plant actually in April, and it was not in spike. So this is my Liparis caespitosa. It's got a really bad tag, which I really should create another tag for, but I purchased this actually from another grower, so a hobbyist just like myself, but she has been growing orchids for about 30 years now, and she has a crazy awesome greenhouse. And I saw her at a show, a local show, and I purchased this. I think it was $10, I'm not sure. I can't remember now, but it wasn't in bloom, and I wasn't sure exactly what it would look like. This was my first Liparis actually, and I have managed to rebloom it. It's got a lot of different spikes. This is the most mature spike, so the flowers are super duper tiny. So there it is. This whole entire spike is covered with flowers. They are so tiny, and you cannot even really you can barely enjoy it because it's just so tiny, but it's adorable. And if you are into the tinier flowers, my frog is competing with me. If you are into the tiny flowers, then this orchid is definitely yours. It's very adorable, and it does have several different spikes. Right now they usually have multiple spikes. So here's one, that's the most mature one, then the second most mature one, that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I currently have 8 spikes right now that I can see. And what these guys did was, each pseudobulb has two leaves on it. So you can see here, this is probably a better showing of it. So each pseudobulb has 1 and 2 leaves. The first leaf comes out, and then the second leaf comes out inside of the first leaf. And when the second leaf comes out, it's actually like a sheath. So it's closed up, and the flower spike, trying to compete with my frog, the flower spike is actually inside of this leaf, and it's folded up like that. So when the flower spike matures and comes out, it'll pop out of that leaf, and that leaf will open up. So it's not closed anymore, it opens up and it becomes just a regular leaf. Here is a better shot of what is happening. So you can see how this spike is still kind of stuck inside that leaf. That's what happens when it's still hasn't pulled itself out completely yet. But this spike used to be inside that leaf, and that leaf used to be folded up and covering that spike like that. And then when it matures, that leaf opens up, and the flower spike will eventually straighten itself up outwards. So some of them, I've had one of them where it doesn't straighten itself out and it doesn't pop out, and it was kind of stuck, so I had to do surgery and just kind of cut this leaf out and pull the spike out. But these buds are still not in bloom yet, so they're still buds. And when they're in bloom, they're slightly larger, but not that much larger, but you can really tell the difference. So this is a more mature spike right here. So in terms of care for these guys, I actually water them let's see, they were outside in my backyard, and they weren't in my greenhouse. They were in a very hot summer, so about, I would say up to 100 degrees or 110 degrees. They had a huge drop in temperature at night, but I don't think that that really makes a difference for them. They flower all year round, so there's no specific season where they will bloom, kind of like with certain phals and Dendrobium nobilis. You have certain times when they bloom due to the temperature change, but these guys don't have that, so they actually bloom year round. And they get about, I would say, 15 to 2,500 foot candles. Now, I put these guys outside in the shade, but very bright light. And in the summer, they get intense light. And they are actually really hardy. So they can actually survive down to about 40 degrees Fahrenheit. And of course, with me, up to 110 degrees Fahrenheit on some days. So they are extremely hardy plants. And when they bloom, they're really cute and beautiful like this, and they always have multiple spikes. So I'm still waiting for some of my spikes to mature. You can see that this one, even though these have popped out of their little sheath and leaf, there's 2 frogs now. There's 3 frogs. Okay, so these guys, even though they popped out of their leaves, they still haven't matured yet. These buds are still going to take about another month or 2 to mature. They do take a really long time. This flower spike took forever to bloom like this. It took about 2 months, so these guys have been spiking since probably November, and this was probably my first flower spike, and it was like that small. But they do take a long time to bloom. The good thing is I have multiple spikes, and they are in different stages of budding and blooming. So they will continuously bloom probably, I would say, until May. Let's just say that. So these are really easy to grow for me. I don't have to worry about them or think about them too much. So definitely I would recommend these guys if you are into the tiny little flowers like that. And if you do like the multiple spikes, this is really great. And if you want my frogs, you can have them too. So that's pretty much all. Thanks for watching, everyone. I will see you guys next time. Bye.